Hi guys, can you find the flower in the picture? This is my kind of camouflage. Look how well it blends into the artwork behind it. I think that's kind of funny. It's exactly the same color. But right here we have an Amaryllis. And I must say guys, I've gone a little crazy with the Amaryllis. I think it's part of my spring fever. I like to have them around because I realize that if I have Amaryllis growing, I can bring them in and out of the decor and it sort of feels like spring. But isn't that funny guys? You can barely see it next to the red artwork behind it. So I thought that was kind of funny. But let me show you the other Amaryllis that are growing, and they are in a back room, and I just bring them out when they start to bloom. So this is a messy back room in my basement where I keep my cactus and succulent collection for the winter and a few other plants. And look at my pencil cactus, guys. I mean, it's done fantastic. I did have it up in the living room, but I moved it down here. But in the meantime, what I wanted to show you today was all the Amaryllis I have growing. And I have a few things here. This one already had a bloom, so I went ahead and chopped back the stalk so that it could concentrate on making leaves. And the leaves are what's going to feed the bulb and make it bloom next year. Or maybe even send out another bloom this season. We'll have to see. But I didn't want any of that bulb's energy going into the spent bloom and creating seeds. And I wanted to show you what I tried here. I did see some propagation videos on YouTube, several different sources. A lot of them were in another language, but this is what's called chipping an Amaryllis bulb. And you basically just kind of cut into it. You can cut as many sections as you want. This wasn't a very big bulb, so I just chose to cut it into quarters. But basically what you do is you cut into it and you separate it out so it doesn't grow back together, and with these wooden skewers, and hopefully this summer or spring it's going to start making smaller bulblets, and I can hopefully propagate it into a few Amaryllis. It's just kind of a fun experiment for me. But I didn't do a whole video on it because I really don't know if it's going to be successful. But you basically cut it halfway to maybe 2/3 down, and you leave the basal plate intact. So we'll see. You know, it's almost like an onion, and in between these little areas here, we should have some sprouting. So I'll keep you posted on that. I hope it's a success. But I also cut this one back. It had a really weak set of leaves on it, so I thought I'd give it a chance again to fatten up and then put out some leaves. So I'm not sure if that was the right decision, but I'm having fun experimenting with it. And all of these back here, well, what happened was I got a couple of bulbs, and then of course they went on sale. This lighting isn't ideal, but you can see the silhouettes of some of those blooms. And this one right here looks like it's going to bloom first. And it looks like a red one. But they're all here getting some sun. And there's one in the back too. That one might be a white one. And this one over here, I don't know whether it was stunted in the box, but the first bloom on it was very short, so it could be one of the shorter varieties. I know there's one called Scarlet Baby, and it's much shorter. So I'll have to see what the second bloom does, or maybe even wait till next year and see how that goes. But anyway, there they all are, waiting to bloom, and once they bloom, I'll bring them out so we can enjoy them and feel like spring is coming. I know that a lot of gardeners get spring fever this time of year, and there's nothing more cheerful than flower blooms. So I like this new little hobby of mine, and one little tip that I learned is that when they're blooming, that's not the best time to give them a lot of water. You don't want them to dry out, but you also don't want to give them so much water because they don't have leaves yet. And the leaves are really what draws up a lot of water. And the last thing you want is a bulb sitting in wet soil when it's not drawing it up. So as you can see, these are blooming first and then putting up leaves. So this is, you know, that'll be the second thing that it grows, or the sets of leaves. And here's one in my living room. I have them all over the house. As they bloom, I bring them out. Isn't this a pretty one? It looks a bit short, but it's just a beautiful red. Just a rich, beautiful red. I think it's a red lion, but it does look short, and I don't know if that's due to just the way it grew this year or if it's a shorter variety. Either way, it's really pretty. And I'm so happy to have these blooms in my home. It feels like spring, even though it's freezing cold outside. And here's a beautiful pink bloom that I've brought out to enjoy in the decor. Isn't that a beauty, guys? It's got a green throat there. But that is a beautiful one. And I'm trying to label my Amaryllis. Now, some of them are just from the grocery store and they don't really give you a name. But I am at least trying to label them, whether they're pink, red, or white. But isn't that beautiful, guys? So I can sit here on a snowy day and enjoy some blooms. So let me know if you guys are growing some Amaryllis bulbs yourself. January is a great time to pick them up when you see them, because they're usually on sale. A lot of times they're sold for the holidays. So they go on sale after those pass. And I know myself, I couldn't resist. I've gone a little crazy with this, but I'm having fun. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.